that's enough. That is the whole of what's required tonight. You don't have to adjust your breathing. It was here before you noticed it, and it will continue after you stop listening for it. The way a cloud of gas holds its shape in the dark, whether anyone is watching or not. If there's weight in your body, in the jaw, the shoulders, the place behind the eyes where the day collects, you can let gravity have it. Gravity is patient. It has been holding heavier things than this for longer than anything with a name. The surface where you're resting is solid. It is not going anywhere. Let it do what solid things do. Someone is here to tell you where we're going.
Tonight, we're entering a stellar nursery, a place called the Pelican Nebula, about 1,800 light years from where you're lying right now, in the constellation Cygnus. A nursery is exactly what it sounds like. It's where new stars are born. But the way stars are born might surprise you. They don't build themselves up. They collapse. A cloud of gas and dust falls inward under its own gravity, and at the center of that collapse, something ignites. Pressure becomes light. Tonight, you're going to move through that process from the inside, not as an observer, as someone who might recognize something in it.
And already, at the edges of where you can see, if you let your awareness drift past the room, past the ceiling, past the sky, there is a color beginning. Not red exactly, deeper than red. The color of hydrogen finding its way back to itself after being split apart by radiation. A rose so deep it could be the memory of a rose, or the promise of one. Somewhere ahead of you, at a distance your body understands, but your mind cannot measure, something is forming. You can't see it yet, but you might feel it, the way you sometimes feel rain before it starts, or the way a room feels different when someone you love has just walked into it. Let the weight of you settle. Let the dark gather. We're going in. drifting, the way dust drifts through a beam of light, the way a thought drifts through the space between waking and sleep. You might notice the darkness thickening, not closing in, opening out. The kind of darkness that is not absence, but substance. The kind of darkness you could rest against. Your hands might be warm. Your feet might be heavy. Whatever your body is doing right now, it knows something about this place already. It has been inside something dark and warm before. A very long time ago. Before memory. And now, the nursery. The first thing you see is not a star. The first thing you see is the dust. Columns of it, rising in the dark the way smoke rises, not falling, not hanging, but held in place by something you cannot see. Gravity pulling gently from every direction at once. And between the columns, lanes of deeper dark where even the rose light cannot reach. This is the Pelican Nebula, 1,800 light years from your pillow, and the columns you are seeing, each one is taller than your solar system. Each dark lane between them could hold 1,000 Earths end to end and still have room for silence. But it does not feel large. It feels close. The way a cathedral feels close when you're inside it, despite the height. The dust has a texture, the dark has a weight, and the rose-colored light has a quality that is almost tender, as if it is not illuminating, but holding. Somewhere in the columns, something shifted. You heard it or felt it, a settling, the kind of sound a house makes.
Alan Watts once said that we do not come into this world, we come out of it as leaves from a tree.
And here, in this nursery, you can feel what he meant. The stars that will form here are not arriving from somewhere else. They are the cloud itself, this rose-red, dust-heavy, gravity-quiet cloud, folding inward, finding a center, becoming something it always contained but had not yet expressed. You are drifting through the evidence of it. Everywhere around you, the dust is slightly denser in some places than others. Knots of concentration, like thoughts gathering before they become words. Each knot will take 100,000 years to collapse into something bright. But the process has already begun. It began before anyone was here to name it.
There's a part of you that knows how to hold it together. You might recognize it, the part that tightens when things feel uncertain, the part that says, if I loosen my grip, I'll lose the shape of who I am. That's not weakness. That's an old protection. It kept you intact when intact was the most important thing to be. But Marcus Aurelius once wrote that loss is nothing else but change, and change is nature's delight. Here, in this cloud, loss of form is the beginning of everything. You don't have to believe that yet. Just notice what tightens when you hear it.
Dust around you, it doesn't grip. You can see that. The way it hangs in the dark without edges, without a fist, without the need to maintain a shape that someone will recognize. Some of it is drifting apart, and some of it is drifting together. Both movements look the same from here. Both are quiet. Both are without hurry. And perhaps, somewhere in your chest, there is something that has been holding a shape for a very long time. A fist that forgot it was clenching. An old tension so familiar it feels like architecture. Load-bearing, as if the whole structure of you depends on it. But the dust here, the dust does not need architecture. It drifts, and in the drifting, it becomes. Let the shape go. Whatever loosens can stay loose. Nothing needs to be rebuilt tonight. And the cloud, it noticed. Something in the architecture of the dust shifted when you let go. Not visibly, not dramatically, but the way a room changes when someone finally exhales. There is more space here now. Between the columns, between the dark lanes, between the particles of dust that are still deciding whether to gather or disperse. And in that space, a faint warmth that was not there before. The warmth of something no longer being held in place by effort. You might notice your shoulders. Not to change them, just to notice. The way you might notice that it has started raining without needing to do anything about the rain. And the rose light it has spread, not brighter, but wider, as if the edges of the nebula have softened, the way edges soften in the first minutes after waking, when the room is still deciding whether to be a dream or a fact. Somewhere in the columns, deeper than you've been, the dark is thicker, denser, not empty, but full of the material that stars are made of, and you are drifting toward it. And now you move, not by effort, by permission. The current takes you the way gravity takes a leaf, gently, along the path of least insistence, into the deeper folds of the cloud, where the dust is thick enough to taste, and the rose light dims to a glow you feel more than see. The columns pass on either side of you, close enough to sense their mass. These cathedral pillars of compressed gas, each one a nursery within the nursery, each one holding in its dark interior a knot of matter that is slowly, across millennia, finding its own center.
There is a line from Lao Tzu that the softest thing in the universe overcomes the hardest thing in the universe.
And you are inside the proof of it. This diffuse cloud, soft enough to pass your hand through, thin enough that a single breath could scatter a cubic mile of it, is building stars. Not by force, not by hardness, by the patient, accumulated gentleness of gravity, which asks nothing of what it gathers except that it be willing to fall. And now the light goes, not suddenly, gradually, the way evening goes, the way a conversation goes quiet.
What you're moving into now is darker, and the mind will want to interpret that, the part of you that equates darkness with being lost, not knowing with failure. Most of us carry a version of this, the belief that if we can't see the path clearly, there must not be a path. That if we're confused or stuck, something has gone wrong. But in the nebula around you, the darkest regions, the molecular clouds so dense that no light passes through them, those are the most fertile zones. That's where the forming is actually happening. So notice, as the darkness thickens, whether something in you is scanning for the exit, and whether it might be possible to let the scanning stop.
And the dark is thick now. It has a substance not like walls, but like water. A density you can feel against your skin, against the backs of your hands, against the place behind your forehead where decisions usually live. And in that density, a weight, not the weight of burden, the weight of containing. Your own not knowing has a weight to it, a thickness. Feel it in your belly, in the space behind your eyes. The dark is holding you. You don't need to see through it. You're being held inside it. And in the holding, something shifts. Not in the cloud, in you. The part that was scanning for the exit goes quiet. The way a child goes quiet when it realizes the arms holding it are not going to let go. The darkness is not a problem to be solved. It is a room to be rested in. You are deeper in the cloud now than any light has been in millions of years. And your body is warm. Your breath is arriving and leaving without difficulty. The pressure around you is the pressure of patience. The universe in no hurry to show you what it is making. And perhaps, at the very edge of what you can sense, a warmth, not yet light, not yet form, but something gathering, the way a word gathers in the throat before it is spoken, the way a season gathers before it turns. The dust around you is denser here. You can feel the gravity of it. Gentle, insistent. The way sleep is insistent on the nights when you finally stop resisting it. Everything here is falling toward a center, including you.
Rumi wrote that the wound is the place where the light enters you.
And at the edges of this cloud, where the radiation from older stars pierces through, that is exactly what is happening. The cloud is not being destroyed by the light. It is being opened by it. is finding a center it didn't know it had. And where it falls deepest, where the pressure is greatest, something is starting to glow. Collapsing, and where it falls deepest, light is beginning. Your breath is doing the same thing, drawing inward, finding its own center without being told. You are becoming. The becoming. It doesn't need a name yet.
Alan Watts also said that the only way to make sense out of change is to plunge into it, move with it, and join the dance.
And whatever just loosened in you is part of that dance now. The same dance the dust is doing. The slow, patient, 5,000,000-year waltz from diffuse to dense, from cloud to core. From something unnamed to something that burns. You can feel the warmth increasing, not from outside, from the center, from the place where the gravity has been pulling everything, including you. The light that is forming ahead is not a distant star. It is the center of the collapse you are inside. And it is very, very close now. Something is about to be there that was not there before. person knows, in the way warmth knows a cold hand, in the way gravity knows mass. It does not look at you, it includes you. Around it, the dust is spiraling, not falling, spiraling. A slow, flat disk of material orbiting the center, and in that disk, the first suggestion of something that could one day be a world. Everything here is in the process of becoming. Nothing is finished. Everything is lit.
Eckhart Tolle wrote that life is the dancer and you are the dance.
And the proto-star ahead of you isn't trying to become a star. It is not performing ignition. It is not earning its light. The gas collapsed, and the pressure found a center, and the center became warm, and the warmth became glow, and the glow became this, a thing that is already the process it is inside. The becoming is not what it does. The becoming is what it is. You are close enough now to feel the heat of it against your skin. Not burning, not urgent, but the warmth of recognition. The warmth of something that was always running underneath the surface, underneath the effort, underneath the long campaign of holding yourself together in the shape you thought the world required. And in your own chest, is there warmth? You didn't manufacture it. You didn't earn it. It was already running. The way the protostars glow was already running before anyone came to see it. The cloud around the protostar is lit from within, not by the star. The star hasn't ignited yet. By the process, by the pressure, by the simple fact that when enough of anything gathers in one place with enough patience, light is what happens. Not a reward, not a result, a side effect of gathering. Somewhere ahead of you, in the deepest fold of the cloud, a protostar is glowing. Not because someone lit it, but because the pressure became enough. And in your own chest, there is warmth that you did not manufacture. It was always running. You are already lit. The light was not arriving. It was always here, waiting for you to stop looking elsewhere. And the protostar, it is still there, still glowing, still becoming. And you, inside the cloud that is making it, are part of the same process, the same hydrogen, the same gravity, the same patience. You're seeing them now with something that is not quite your old eyes. And the rose light is returning, but warmer, more gold in it now, as if the encounter with the protostar left a tint on everything. A patina of amber laid over the hydrogen glow, the way late afternoon light changes a room you've been in all day into something you suddenly want to stay in. And you can feel somewhere in the nursery, beyond the columns, in dark pockets you cannot see, other gatherings, other centers of gravity, other places where the dust is falling inward and pressure is becoming warmth, and warmth is becoming glow. You are not the only one in this cloud who is forming. Hundreds of them, forming in silence, in the dark, in their own time. Each one alone in its cocoon of dust, each one part of the same nursery.
The last territory tonight is the loneliest one. It's the belief that you're becoming whatever you're growing into, whatever you're struggling through right now, is yours alone, that no one else is in this particular dark. It's a kind of vigil, standing watch over your own transformation, as if you're the only one doing it, as if companionship would dilute it, as if help would be cheating. Terence McKenna once said that nature loves courage, and there is courage in allowing yourself to form. But the deeper courage, the one the nebula is about to show you, is letting the vigil end. Letting the aloneness be factual without being final.
is tired. You can feel the tiredness of it, not exhaustion, something gentler than exhaustion. The tiredness of a muscle that has been flexed so long, it has forgotten what release feels like. The tiredness of a sentinel who has been watching a fire that was never going to go out. All through this nursery, in dark pockets you cannot see, other forms are collapsing, other lights are beginning, hundreds of them, in silence, in their own time. The aloneness you've been carrying has a guardian quality, like you were standing watch over your own becoming. Feel the weight of that watch. The vigil is over. You can set the watching down. The becoming continues without a guard. Not dramatic, quiet. The way a room is quiet after everyone has agreed that no one needs to speak. The sentinel sits down. The fire is still burning. It was always going to keep burning. The nursery is brighter now. You can see further than before. The columns lit from within by hundreds of forming protostars, each one a warm point in the dark. Each one evidence that something is happening in the pockets you cannot reach, in the silences you cannot hear, in the lives you cannot see. You are not the only one in this cloud who is becoming. You are not the only one in this darkness who is lit. The nursery does not make one star at a time. It makes hundreds together, alone and together. And the same forces, the same gravity, the same hydrogen, the same ancient and patient and infinitely gentle pressure that lit the protostar you stood beside, those forces are inside you. They have always been inside you. They are not borrowed. They are not earned. They are the material you are made of. The same material everything here is made of. You are very close now to the center of something. Not the center of the nebula, the center of why you came. The same cloud, the same hydrogen, the same slow gravity that is forming every star around you. And your own heartbeat has the same rhythm as the pulse of a protostar finding its core. A gathering, a brightening, a quiet arrival. You were never alone. Let the knowing land wherever it wants to land. The cloud knows you. The same hydrogen that lit the first star in this nursery is the hydrogen in your blood. The same gravity that gathered the dust into the protostar is the gravity that holds your bones together. You are not visiting the nursery. You are part of it. You have always been part of it. The same forces that lit the first star are lighting you. Your breath is drawn from the same well. You were never alone. Stay with it. Stay with whatever that opened. Here. Everything that is becoming in this cloud is becoming together. Every dark pocket holds a sibling. Every silence holds a breath that matches yours.
Rumi once wrote, "You are not a drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean in a drop."
And you are not a star in the nursery. You are the nursery, forming itself star by star, breath by breath, into something vast and warm and unhurried and lit. The cloud as gently as dust settles after the wind is past, as gently as the light fades at the edge of a cloud that has finished making something, as gently as anything that has traveled this far and needs nothing proven upon arrival. The nursery is receding, not disappearing. You can still feel it. The columns are there, lit from within. The dark lanes are there, still holding their futures in the folds. The protostar is there, still glowing at the center of its collapse, still becoming what it has always contained. But you are drifting back toward the place where your body is resting, toward the weight you left at the threshold, toward the room that has been holding you this whole time, the way the cloud held the dust, without commentary, without demand, just the patient, solid, unremarkable fact of being underneath. And you can feel the weight returning. Not the weight of effort, the weight of presence, the weight of a body in a room, the good weight, the weight that says, I am here. I am still here. Someone once said, and it might have been Ram Dass, that we're all just walking each other home. And right now, in the last warmth of the nursery, still glowing somewhere behind you, still forming, still patient, that is what this was. Not a journey alone, a walk through the dark, through the dust, through the cathedral of what is becoming. And the walk was shared, even the parts that felt loneliest. Your breath is yours. It has been here the whole time. The one thing that did not change when the cloud opened and the dust gathered and the protostar glowed. Your breath was here. It is still here. Chest, a warmth, not the warmth of the protostar, your warmth, the one that was running before the journey began and will be running after you open your eyes. The warmth of a body that has been forming for as long as it has been alive, still becoming, still lit. You don't have to open your eyes yet. bright and measured world. You are still inside the nursery. You will always be inside the nursery. Because the nursery is not a place, it is a process. And the process is still running in your chest, in your breath, in the quiet, patient, unguarded warmth of what you are. Still becoming, still